Okay.
I will call the August 5th, 2020 Historic District Commission meeting to order. I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes. I did have one correction at the very last paragraph.
Okay.
Talking about, explaining about closing in the historic district. I was referring to Salisbury's historic district program or protocol. And we can just put that in there because that's where the information was coming from,
So-
what they do over there.
So we should say, she stated, in the city of Salisbury, it's a one-page document?
Yes, yeah, just something that it's Salisbury, Maryland's historic district protocol that I am trying to get over here.
Okay.
Thank you. Does anyone else have
What paragraph
any
is that?
additions? Pardon me?
Next,
paragraph?
the very last.
The very last paragraph of page 2.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any additions?
Well, can I just add one thing on that, Warner, that Cam Bunting brought into the office to me, I guess because I was quoted saying that I felt we really had to not have any more people come in front of us that said they're clueless, and brought me a copy of what was given to the buyer, which does state that it is a historic property, but there's no addendum, and there's certain protocol or certain thing you have to follow. So,
Well,
yes,
that's what I've been trying to get for 10 years.
right,
hopefully
so
we'll be
I
able
just
to.
wanted to know that actually, to be perfectly clear, it was printed, although Cam didn't have the sale, it was someone else.
Mhm.
It does say historic property, but that's where sort of the dead end, oh, it's a historic property, you didn't know anything about historic properties, it wouldn't mean anything to you.
Right.
Right, but
I
that,
appreciate that, Carol, go ahead.
that's not germane to these minutes, but that's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, she
And
mentioned that.
I will say that Mrs. Bunting brought me the same thing.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. I
So-
just didn't want to forget it.
Okay, if there's no more additions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve the July 1st minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the July minutes.
All right, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Our first case is 8-5-20-11, Heidi Johnson from the meat market. I guess,
I don't know if she's out in the conference room or not.
has Heidi arrived yet?
Do you see Heidi out there?
Who?
Heidi Johnson from the meat market.
No.
Just text her and we'll move
Matt
on.
Berrier?
Just tell her to come and we'll.
One Main Street.
Okay, so Matt, she's not here, so.
We'll hold it. She's probably still working, so that's fine. We'll go to the next case, 8-5-20-12, and that's for Nicole Brushmiller, sign change. And I believe there's a gentleman here for her this evening. Good evening, how are you?
How are you?
We're glad you could slip in for
Yeah.
Brian and Nicole.
Yes, their daughter's 16th birthday,
I
so I
understand.
didn't want to interrupt that.
I know that Laura and I are familiar with what they're going to be doing at the business. Do you want to tell the group what they're planning to have the market?
Okay, yeah, so we're changing it a little bit. It'll still be sort of a cafe, so it'll have still breakfast foods, kind of lunch items, to-go stuff. But we're adding more to-go stuff, more of a market. With the whole COVID-19 going on, we realized that there's a need for a grocery that isn't a big box grocery for people to go into a Food Lion and that kind of stuff. So it's more of a specialty market things that you won't find in Food Lion, but fresh vegetables. We're working with local farmers to bring in produce, that kind of stuff. Pastas that are different styles of pastas. Nicole's Italian, so she's big on pasta stuff. There's pastas in there that I've never heard of.
Okay.
So just adding a little bit of market stuff to the cafe.
I think it's very needed, so
Yeah.
this is great. Everyone has a copy. They're going to use the sign that's there over the door and just repaint it with their new logo. Does anyone have any questions about the sign? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve case number 8-5-20-12.
I'll make a motion to approve case 8-5-20-12.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much for coming.
Is it already on the market now, or are you
We're
still in
kind of
transition?
transitioning into
Yeah.
it. We
Oh,
haven't
good.
got everything in yet.
But you got some stuff in there?
Yes, we got some cheeses, some meats for like a charcuterie type kind of board,
Okay.
some pastas, a Japanese section with miso, fancy stuff that I don't know.
I'll stop in.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
You too.
Okay, our next,
And Heidi's here too.
is Heidi here? Under.
That's a matter.
Thank you.
Again. Just wait for Heidi at the meat market. Hi there.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna put you right up front.
Hi, everybody. I forgot my mask.
That's all right, you're fine, you're fine.
How's everybody?
Well, I think we're doing all right.
Good.
I have one question, Heidi. Where on the property are you going to put this?
I would prefer to put it where the outdoor tables are on the brick wall up against the building. So every night I can just take the umbrellas out of the bases and store them there overnight so they don't get stolen. Because right now we're taking them in and out every day and it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a Pitt Street side, right?
Correct.
Okay, that was my
Yeah,
only question.
or if you don't like it there, I could always put it on the back of the rear of the building.
I haven't seen,
Whatever you think might look better.
I don't have a problem with it on the Pitt Street. Laura, did you have a question?
No, I think it would be fine.
Nornie?
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay,
Robert?
We're good.
we're good?
Mary?
Nothing offensive about it.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
I think it looks kind of cool, actually. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty. I like this. Where did you find this?
Online, Amazon.
Amazon? Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yes, Amazon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so yeah, it just would help us keep everything locked up at night.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all.
Although, I was always worried about our tables.
Yeah,
We have those little tables that John actually got them from Paris, shipped over. I thought, we don't take it, still nothing. Nobody ever takes.
yeah, I don't think things will really get
Cameras out there,
stolen.
though.
Yeah.
I just can't get them replaced fast enough, so I just
Yeah.
would prefer just to
Yes,
lock them
that's-
up.
Okay.
Well, it also protects them from the weather.
Yeah, true. Yeah, with that too, with the winds and stuff, so.
All right.
That's
We'll entertain a motion to approve case number 8-5-20-11.
I'll make the motion to approve case 8-5-2011.
I'll second that motion.
On favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Okay.
Heidi.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Stay safe.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
And we have case number 8-5-20-13, 202 South Main, Mr. Wynn and Ms. Rhodes.
Mr. Wynn isn't here yet? Yeah.
I
No.
can't hear.
Oh, wait.
All the way up.
Is this not Wynn and Rhodes?
No, this is
One South Main.
the next case.
Okay, all right, folks.
This is
let's regroup here.
8-5-20-14
Okay.
for Life's Simple Pleasure.
So you are going to go into the PNC Bank
Yes,
and Brenda's place, right?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have you moved in?
we are moved in, yeah, we're not set
Wow.
up, we're not set up yet, but we're in.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Hopefully this will be your last move,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we've been trying to find the right location, and we finally
You finally got it, yeah,
have
that's
to
great.
move with wherever's open. Yeah,
That's a very pretty space.
Yeah.
Mary, we'll start with you if you want to, any about the sign.
No, I like the little house, that has the home decor. So many signs have such clever names, but you're clueless what's inside the doors.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the symbol there of the home. I think that's very nice.
Okay, Robert,
I'm fine with everything.
Nornie.
I'm fine.
Looks good. Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve, case number 8-5-20-14.
I'll make a motion to approve 8-5-20-14.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll be able to see you when you
Thank you, we're
get all
getting
set up.
Another couple of weeks, maybe.
Okay,
All right,
thanks for
thanks.
coming.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, if this last case, if they're not here, I guess we can just, vote to do it next month, is that what we do?
You can continue it.
Yeah. They're not here.
No one
Okay.
else.
Okay.
Dave, may I ask a question about this one?
Mhm.
Is this art studio just for them? And when it says business, natural for businesses, is this something just for the homeowners who will be utilizing?
Yeah, the way they talk about it for him and his wife, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. that
It's
was
a business that's going to be conducted from there?
No,
This is not in the business district.
no, they're not gonna
Just odd how
have,
it's
it's not a
worded.
retail business, they're not gonna have visitors to the art studios for their use.
To support the local Berlin
So
business.
it's probably like they'll create their own work there, and they'll probably put it into a studio in town or
Oh,
something. Is that
okay.
what they're-
I
I
just
would
want to
guess,
clarify,
yeah,
and
yeah.
clarify that wasn't going to be a little secondary business. Okay, good.
All right, well, I will need someone to make a motion, please, that we continue case 8-5-20-13 to the September meeting since they did not show up this evening.
I'll make the motion to move case 8-5-2013 to our next meeting due to the not attendance of the applicants.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Dave, did you have anything you wish to discuss this evening?
No.
All right. Fellow commissioners, does anyone have anything they would like to discuss before we?
No, I'm good.
So, Carol, we're going to move forward on coming up with something from Salisbury, how they handle this, and that the people will be aware that when you live in a historic district, it isn't just living in a historic district, you become a steward of the house.
Yes,
Okay, great.
I'm
Appreciate
going
that.
to get it to Jeff because, when I did it the last time, he was not, the city manager, so I'll get it to Jeff and we'll talk and I think maybe we can get, I'm not gonna take the time to send it to everybody all over again, but,
Well, I don't think that's your responsibility, but I mean, that's something that I just, the committee or, Dave again, come back up with something. If you mentioned the coastal board or realtors or.
Yeah, we have,
that,
there's a
let everyone know.
well, it's just, I think the Historic District Commission code would just have to be amended for the specific thing. And the city attorney would have to do paperwork, and I guess do you have a public, it's adding to the code.
It's a text amendment, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, but it's so simple, I mean, I can sit and type it, it's that simple, it's very short, but
I
it's
just
gonna
felt very badly
involve
for the
more
different
than just.
residents that have come here. We've had some pretty unpleasant situations for the people purchasing and then like clueless, well, what do you mean? And I never thought it made us look good as a commission that we were.
Well, it would, the only thing it would cost the city is a stamp that says, they signed this paper.
But if I can interrupt, in the 10 years I've been employed here, probably in the last 3 years, for whatever the reason, I got involved. I think everybody needs to understand this as well. I don't know I know, I got an idea what you're talking about. But the thing that I've observed in town, and I'm gonna give you a really, really good example, over on Buttercup, okay? I know that's outside your all's preview, but to give you a scenario, you go over there and a couple of the homeowners have been upset because of a swale in their backyard, and on the opposite side of the road, the ditch in their backyard. Long story short, what I'm getting at, when we come back and we do our research, right, wrong, or indifferent, so if any of you live on Buttercup, I'm gonna educate you.
We don't.
You bought a piece of a ditch, okay? Whether you like it or not, you bought it. And with one particular property owner who I know very well in town, we actually sat down and reviewed all of his closing documents. And it's in there. You bought this 200-foot section of ditch. Well, I didn't know it when I did it. Well, you bought it. So I hear where you're coming from, because I've heard it, I think, the last time around when we were in here. So let's see what we can do to make it a bit more easy to swallow with people.
Yeah, well, I will it won't be this week.
Right.
But I will get it over to you. And it's, like I said, it's very simple, to take care of. Is there anything else anybody
Just
else?
that, just to make it clear in my head, like, if you're gonna make a change, like, I know, like what Mary showed us, like, the real estate might list it as a historic home. Yes, we have historic homes outside the historic district. It's just that they have to be made aware that whether it's a historic home or not, they're inside a historic district.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
what
the clarification that has to be made.
That's what this.
Well, that's,
document
again, that's supposed to be a disclosure. That's standard operating procedure for the Coastal Association of Realtors. That's why that box has to say yes or no. In this case that we just went through, it says yes. So what Jeff's pointing out is, you can have all these checklists and you can have all these notifications, but people are still ignorant of the facts. They're eager when they're closing on a property. Yeah, I'll sign. Yeah, what's my mortgage payment? They're not always looking at every detail.
Well, it may be the first home they're buying.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, in this
they're
case, we
young.
knew it
There are a lot of
wasn't.
things, I don't know why it's so difficult, that with a star, say, or a little clip on, the realtors who have to do it know that they need to clip on here, this is in historic district, and here's, these are the standards when you buy in the historic district.
You carried a personal experience on something years ago. I bought a home, and before I bought a home, I had young kids. So you bought the home with young kids, what's one of the things you explore? What schools do they go to, right?
Yeah.
And I was told my kids were in this school district, right? Now, I hadn't signed the papers yet, so I took a trip, a few days later, went to the school board for the school that I was told that these kids would go to, and I was told, wrong answer, they're gonna go to this school district. So the information I was being fed from the realtor, it wasn't right.
Well, have you always been in government service? I mean, pretty much your business, I don't know your background. I mean,
Or me in here.
Well, a lot of people aren't aware. I just thought it was very simple, and I think it falls back on the realtor. They're
I
aware
agree.
of what it is, that they should have some disclosure, oh yeah, this house is in the historic district. We sat here with people, when Hale Harrison came in and bought that little, supposedly, it was an old home. That was quite a stink, and it wasn't pleasant, I don't think, to have that all over, that a person comes in and buys property thinking they can build their house back there, and no, you can't do that.
Right.
So, I mean, I just feel sitting on this commission that it's just a personal feeling of mine that I don't feel good about it if I'm part of something that doesn't make people aware. And if the realtors are afraid they're going to miss a deal, and somebody says, oh, you mean I have to I can't do, well, there's somebody like Bob or myself who care about historic homes and taking care of their property, and say, well, wow, this is what I really care about, and if you don't care about it, you shouldn't buy it. But I don't know,
But,
it's just, I
see,
feel,
but
make my
again,
statement.
in this case that causes this discussion, it was on the listing. It says yes.
It says historic district, but if you're from Baltimore and you lived in a row house, or you lived in a track house, historic house, oh, it's an old house. What's old?
Right.
Some people, it's before 1940.
But I think you'd agree that some of the onus is on the buyer, you know, and
Well, pass the buck. All right, I'm just saying, I feel.
I'm not
sitting
passing
here-
the buck at
No,
all.
I'm just saying, you both as gentlemen have your personal opinions, which I'm not judging you for that. I'm being more benevolent, maybe thinking, you know, what is the big deal for the Realtor if we just have, as Carol said, something's typed out and say, anytime it homes in the historic district, it behooves you to go ahead and have the staple to that and let them
Agree.
make the call. I don't know why that's so difficult.
We agree
It's a
with
very
you.
small historic district, aren't that many
Yeah,
homes?
I think people get confused when they see listed a historic home and not realizing there's a difference between a historic home and a historic district.
Exactly, I live in a historic
Okay.
home, but I'm not in the historic
Right, I
district.
live in a historic, my home is technically not historic, it's not quite 100 years old yet, if we're still going by that premise. But I am in a historic district, and that was made clear to me when I purchased the house, because we were already here a few years, and we already developed some friendships, and they advised us about that.
Then you had to
But my
go-
wife and I wanted a home in a historic district because we didn't want to see our area change housing-wise. We loved the way it looked. They can't put high-density homes in our district, and we loved it for that. You
And
see?
you lived in urban areas and you knew what urban sprawl.
So
would do.
we knew, yeah, well, you know my story about that. But, so
Well,
I think it has to be
belabor it, but I
listed.
feel
And if the
strongly.
person, if it's an item on the real estate, on the contract, or whatever the listing agreement is, and the potential buyer is checked it, read it and checked it off, well, once they check it off and sign it, it's on them. If they didn't read it, that's their problem.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, it's not the real estate agent's problem, it's not the town's problem, it's the person's problem. As long as it's listed there, if they check it and sign it, that's on the owner. All right, they should take the time to read the contract before they sign it then. And then ask, what is the historic district about?
Well, and
You know?
there are different people, I'm all right, I'm gonna let it go, we've beaten it to death, but I stand that I feel very
Well,
strongly
I
about
would
it.
say, I will get it every week. I will get it
Just
every
give me-
week. Is there anything else anyone else wants to discuss? No, I don't have anything either. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
Go
folks.
back with the watch.
Meeting's over.
You know, I figured, wait, I didn't think about it here.
See you, Alan.
The other room.